Hello and welcome. I'm Jamal Jackson, and with me is
Tucker O'Reilly.
And this is the Regular Guys Show, where we're just two regular guys that want to show that different ideologies can come together and discourse and get along. So like and subscribe.
Hey Jamal,
Yeah.
something's just burning my gears up right now. I don't understand these trans people.
What about them?
And I don't want to offend or anything, but they got this guy. He's a college athlete, and he's what do you call it? Self-identifying as female.
Yeah.
So he's going through all these swim meets with these chicks.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So what I don't like is I don't think that it's fair that a person born male is competing with female-only athletes. I don't think it's fair to the females that are trying their best when not saying anything against which gender is superior or inferior, but everybody knows that men and their muscle mass and their bone structure are a lot stronger and faster than women.
Yeah.
Now this guy, his name is what is his name? William Thomas.
Yeah.
But she is going by Leah Thomas, and I mean just in the competition, and it's not even fair. He's already won records in college.
I know. I saw the video.
Yeah, it's
I
ridiculous.
mean, literally, swimming against these girls, and he's literally just outpacing them, and it is actually ridiculous. I know you were showing me a video about it, and
it's ridiculous, man. I'm just saying, I don't even understand. They have a committee, the NCAA, where they put all these rules and regulations on all these student athletes.
Yeah.
Where they can't make money. They have to do so many hours in academics before they can participate in whatever sport they choose. But I never knew that it was, you could just say I'm a girl and go and join girl sports.
Well,
I never knew it was that easy.
that's kind of the world we're coming into today. That's why I was telling you. I know you give Florida a lot of flack. A lot of people do. But that's something that...
Florida sucks.
Shut up, dude. That's something that Florida's fighting against, man. No, seriously. I mean, like I said, they're trying to get rid of this stuff because all these schools are doing it. They're letting these boys is being girls and girls is being boys, and you see this junk all the time in the news. Nobody's happy about it. Nobody likes about it. So I remember we was laughing at that meme earlier with that guy peeing in the bathroom, and that little girl was like, "Mommy, that's not a lady," and she was like, "Shush, we're not allowed to tell the truth anymore." But I mean, that's how it's getting.
And you know what? That's bad. My wife always tells me that we are living in end times, and I'm not trying to get religious or anything like that right now. But she always says
dude,
that.
I always tell you we're living in end times.
Well, yeah, you do. But I'm saying when something like that becomes the norm, it just seems like the end is inevitable. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's gonna happen when he just strikes us down. I don't know what's gonna happen, man.
All right, I know. We said we wasn't gonna try to get religious.
We're not gonna quote anything or talk any specifics.
But if you look at the Roman Empire, you got to remember, in the early stages, in the beginning stages of the church, when it was first starting out with the apostles,
right,
going out and doing missionary work, starting the early church, they themselves believed that they were living in the end times and that the imminent return of Christ was upon them. And when you go and study Roman history and look at the way the people in that time were acting, it fits exactly when the prophecies about how people will be in the end times was exactly how the Romans acted, and that's exactly how people today are acting, and a big part of it is people being effeminate, and that's the effeminate is like basically is boys wanting to be girls and girls wanting to be boys. The male is leaving the natural use of a woman, and a woman is leaving the natural use of a man, and they're doing all this whack stuff. But what grinds me the most is them shoving it down kids' throats.
Yeah, I don't like that, and you see it on the TV series, I mean, even on Disney Channel they have gay characters now in Disney movies. It's getting ridiculous.
Well, hate to bring up Florida again, but look at, they were smashing the parent bill, give the parental right bill to get that junk out of schools and all that stuff.
That's the don't say gay.
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah, what they were called, the don't say gay bill. And then Disney is getting in a hissy fit saying that they're so against it, and now that they're going to be even more LGBTQ-ish or whatever. And
it's all Biden's fault. You know that. Gas prices, gays, Biden's fault.
God, I was about to say the three G's.
the
I
three
can't
Gs.
count. He only said two.
We'll just say G squared.
Yeah, G squared. G equals MC squared. Brought to
Yeah.
you by Albert Biden.
Yeah. But anyways, not only I don't understand about these men participating in women's sports, but you never see the women who claim to be men participating in men's sports.
That's so funny that you bring that up, because I was actually thinking that earlier this morning when we were at work. I was actually thinking about that. I was like, you know what? I do find it funny that all the people that transition, you only see males turning into women and going to women's sports. You don't see women turning into males and entering male
No,
sports.
you don't see that at all. You don't even see them trying to go in the men's bathroom.
Do you guys think that maybe it would be because those women know that they would get dominated?
Well, most likely. And I'm not trying to be funny, but like I said before, men are stronger with their bone structure and their muscle mass. They're faster. I mean, unless there's some inadequate male that's kind of flimsy, but can you say flimsy?
Yeah, why couldn't you say flimsy?
Well, I'm not trying to offend anybody. You know how this country is now.
Yeah,
We
everybody
can say
gets their
anything
feelings hurt.
and get canceled. But you guys are listening to what we're talking about. You guys can chime in on your comments, give us how you feel about it, and we can keep the conversation rolling.
Yeah, it's just I don't know, man. I just don't understand what's going through these people's heads. It was like I was telling you.
I mean, if it's easy as saying I self-identify as a woman, then I can self-identify as pretty much anything. You remember the Dave Chappelle joke?
Yeah.
Where he self-identified as a Chinese guy? He got all the flight for saying that.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
but
come on.
you can't do anything. I mean, it's like I was telling you that video I watched earlier with that woman that was saying junk like 4th and 5th graders know more about sexuality and gender than adults do, and
That's
that they
ridiculous.
understand. And I'm like, man, this is absolute
Now
garbage.
she was an educator?
Yeah, she was like a 3rd grade teacher.
She should be fired and banned from teaching for life.
No, I agree with you. I mean,
I wouldn't even let her homeschool her kids. You're just corrupting the youth,
Yeah, no. And see, but that's what kills me. That's what
Yeah.
burns me up inside. I kid you not. I remember this conversation with this. It was like some kind of queer man or something. I don't know. He was
Can you say
he
queer?
was part. I don't know.
Well, I'm just
Well, you
saying
might as
we-
well.
we-
It's in the alphabet.
Well, we don't have
community.
anything against queers, just so you guys
but
know.
he was going and saying that if you would just let him get alone with a child for 30 minutes to an hour to talk to them, he said he can convince them within that hour. He said he had like a 90-something% success rate. He said within the hour will convince them that they are gay and to come and join the gay community, and that's normal and that's the
And you
right
know
way
what?
to do.
I believe that. You know why? Because, not to get off subject, but they have like a study showing that when people are interrogated by the police, especially young people, under 21. Oh, sorry. Young people under 21. The longer they keep them in that interrogating room, the more they agree that they did the actual crime, even if they're 100% innocent.
Yeah.
So I can see that manipulating a little kid. into thinking that they self-identify as whatever.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, you hear about this former NBA player named Dwayne Wade. He used to play for the Miami Heat basketball team. Won a couple of championships. I used to think he was a great player, but now I think he's the worst dad ever. His 14-year-old son self-identifies as a girl, and he had him posted up on a picture just the other day kissing another boy. 14. That should be against the law or some kind of child abuse in my eyes. I mean, he's 14. How does he even know what he self-identifies as? He should self-identify as a boy. That's all he knows.
Yeah.
He has a pecker. He stands up and takes a leak.
And I just want to reiterate to all you guys and let you know that when Tucker said 14, he looked me dead in the eyes and held up 4 fingers. He said he's 14, holding up 4 fingers at me.
You are despicable, Jamal.
But you know what? I really want to say this because all of the social media I look at, all the podcasts I listen to, all the YouTube people I listen to, nobody ever says this statement, and I want to say this statement. If there's the chance of this being online, I could care less about getting canceled. Thank goodness I cancel myself.
Excuse me. Jamal's thoughts and opinions do not reflect Tucker O'Reilly.
But I do. I want to say this statement, and this is going on about that guy talking about how he can convince kids and talk them into being gay when that kid would never, ever grow up to be gay.
And that's ridiculous.
Here's the difference between just a normal heterosexual person and the homosexual community is they can't reproduce, so they have to recruit. And that is the problem. Because that shows you right there that it's unnatural, it's not normal, it's not right. Because they cannot reproduce, they have to recruit.
Yep, and speaking of unnatural and not normal, there's all these people are in these same-sex marriages and all these homosexuals, or whether they're female or male or whatever you want to call them. I don't know the alphabet people.
Yeah.
They're into the churches now. They have pastors and ministers and all this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what are they waiting for their congregation just to get lightning struck down on them immediately? Who's marrying these people? Is it a courthouse, or they actually go to a church? I want to know, because I'm saying if I was in a church and 2 guys come up and they kiss and wed, I'm walking out.
Yeah, but you know what? But that's been the what's one of the biggest controversial lawsuits, the Christian cake baker that said that they wouldn't make gay cakes
for the
weddings.
Yeah, I remember that.
But those same kind of lawsuits are happening against churches, where they're trying to take these civil suits out on these churches because the church will refuse to hold a wedding for them, and refuse to marry them.
That's their prerogative.
But they have every right to do so.
If they're going by the Bible, they have all the right to do so.
I mean,
if they are a real church and they go by the scriptures, they have all rights to do so. It shouldn't even be a question. It should not even be a question. I mean, unless these people are like Satan worshipers, and that's a Satan worshiping church, and all the homosexuals can go in there and marry each other all they want.
Yeah, but what blows my mind is that obviously, gays in the church don't get along, and they don't coincide with each other. So why are they both trying to get into each other and try to appeal to each other, and but you know what? Now, and that's the thing that we're gonna have to discuss on another episode. But that's part of all that cancel culture junk that everyone talks about, and these churches ain't got no balls, and they're too scared to stand up for what they believe or what's right, and that's the problem. And it doesn't even have anything to. It doesn't even have to have anything to do with the church or religion. Period. Most
right.
people in this country today, especially men, because along with this transgender nonsense, most men have become so demasculated and feminized that that nobody has a backbone or the courage to stand on what they believe in, what their morals are, or what they believe to be right, and they're willing to just rock and shake with the tide
Yeah.
for anything. It'd take almost anything.
And,
It's
and-
like
and look how deep this rabbit hole's getting. Now, we're talking about emasculating the man, right?
yeah,
Look at this new generation that's coming up. They're having kids. They don't see anything wrong with this alphabet people crap.
I know.
They don't see anything wrong with it. They don't see anything wrong with gay characters in Disney movies. They don't see anything wrong with teachers teaching that stuff. They don't.
No.
I mean, you go on TikTok and even on YouTube. Sorry, YouTube. But even on YouTube, they're pushing this stuff.
don't cancel us.
No, But I just want to say this before we continue. We are not hating on any particular people or anything. We're just giving our opinions as regular guys on how we feel about it, and our opinions don't really matter.
Yeah, really, nobody gives two craps about our
But
opinions.
like I said, if you have a comment that you want to put your 2 cents in, or you want us to answer a question for you, or you can even discuss it with us.
Yeah.
Go ahead, like, subscribe, comment.
Yeah, and we'll do the very best we can to answer your guys' comments or anything, whether you agree with us or disagree with us. Because, I mean, like you said, it's not that we're just trying to, bash on anybody. We understand. I mean, we live in America. It's the greatest nation on the planet. You're free to do whatever you want.
Right.
If you want to go and if you want to live a homosexual lifestyle or if you want to be transgender, you're free to do that. But what we're arguing
But don't
about
push it on the kids.
is shoving it down people's throats and trying to force it. And, just because you want to live that lifestyle doesn't mean I have to agree with your lifestyle or accept it.
Absolutely right.
Just like you don't have to accept my lifestyle or agree with my lifestyle. But, you understand we've got to have, this country's got to get back to some sense of normalcy.
Yeah.
Because it was like, I remember we talked one day where, there's got to be a standard. Whether, everybody agrees with it or only some people agree with it, there's got to be a standard that everyone has to assimilate to. And you are free to be outside of that standard, but you've got to understand that you're more or less you're free to be outside of that standard on your own time and in your own privacy, and not forcing it. Because there's got to be a standard that everyone assimilates.
What we have to do is we have to start weeding out these politicians that cater to this movement or whatever you want to call it, that cater to it, and bring all this legislation as far as federal, and then it's all bleeding into the states, and then the state legislation is allowing this stuff, like we're talking about same-sex marriages,
Yeah.
and things like that.
You know what, man? It's like I told you, the very day that Obama signed same-sex marriage into law, that's here to stay. That is never gonna be
A law
reversed.
it can be repealed.
It is never gonna be reversed, and that is gonna bring that's gonna be one of the downfalls of this country.
What's going to happen if it gets reversed? Let's just say hypothetically, which it probably will never happen in a billion years because it lost the last one. Say your favorite guy, Donald J. Trump, wins the election 2024.
Mhm.
Now, he seems like the kind of guy that would say, you know what, we're going to get rid of that law. Going back to the old ways.
But he
where
didn't.
only a man and a woman can get married. I'm just saying, just say, for example, he did that, right in the law, no more same-sex marriages. So all these people, millions of people around the country, their marriage doesn't count anymore.
That's why I'm saying this is something that will never be reversed. Like the day it was signed into law,
that's
it's
a
here to
shame.
stay.
That's a shame.
And that is literally going to be one of the downfalls of this country. That's why.
So heterosexual divorce rates are going up, and same-sex marriages are going up at the same time. It's going to be a country of in 50 years. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say
But
it. I'll be dead
But-
soon, so I won't see it.
But 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 here what I'm saying is it's not something, like you said, it's not something that can be undone, because what are you just gonna, in the span of time it's been legal, you're just gonna automatically annul everyone's marriage? That would throw all those people into an upset. We'll be back where we are. But that's why people fight so hard. But that's why people fight so hard about all the stuff that's pushing. It's like I said, man, one thing, no matter how small, one small little thing over time can just accumulate and accumulate until it turns into a big thing. Because just like with the gay marriage happening, people, they're trying to push the bathroom stuff. Men using the women's bathroom. I'm sorry, but you take that. That's why people make the argument. You start allowing that, and then in 50 years,
pedophilia is
going to start.
Roof, yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
That's going to start being legal.
Then you're gonna have to worry about your kids going in the bathrooms.
Yeah, exactly, because I'm sorry, just like most people say, if I had a little girl,
I don't want my daughter sitting next to the stall with a 7-foot guy in a dress, standing over his toilet.
I mean that is just
ridiculous,
not normal.
Come on now, it ain't normal for a 7-foot guy standing in a dress, peeing in a damn toilet next to my little kid. No. I don't care. Not even if it was in the men's bathroom. I don't want to see that.
No, I completely understand you. Which is funny, because I know we were talking.
They need to let you open carry in all public bathrooms. That's what they need to let you do.
It's funny because now I will say we referenced earlier at the beginning of the video that we're two completely different ideologies, but there are things that we do agree on, and that's one of the points that we want to make, is to show that me, I'm far more conservative, and Tucker, you're far more progressive. But when you he hates it when I call him a liberal. I've got to make sure I say progressive.
Yeah, you better
but
not.
everywhere I look and see videos or anything on social media, the two sides can never get along, and they're constantly arguing, and they can't agree on nothing. Now, we don't agree on a whole lot, but there is some stuff we agree on, and this is definitely one of the things we do agree on.
But you know what? You know what is not ever said? You always have the right and the left. But I honestly believe there's a lot of middle ground that people agree on together.
Like what?
I mean, far as the majority, if you combine them all. I believe it's a lot of middle ground, like this, what we're talking about. I believe a lot of middle America believes the same thing. It's too much exposure to this for our kids growing up. It wouldn't be the talk of the town or the hot topic of the day every day if it wasn't.
Well, but the problem...
It's legislation, politicians,
but that's what I'm saying,
etc., that's screwing this all up.
Well, because if you think the majority of this country agrees like we do, they're against this, they don't like it, and they're just against it. They don't think it's right, and they don't want it to happen. But like you said earlier, we've become such a sensitive society, and
overly sensitive.
We've got to be so careful not to hurt people's feelings. I mean, a lot of times when I hear people spout these statistics, you gotta remember, man, this LGBT community is like literally less than 1% of the population. So they're pandering to 1% of the population and pissing off 99% of the population, or roundabouts. Because I promise you, the majority, and this probably comes from both sides, but the majority of people in America today, whether they're left, right, Democrat, Republican, liberal, conservative, progressive, whatever, most of them today will tell you that a man that identifies as a woman has no business being in the woman's bathroom with little children in there, or even grown adults. I mean, we'd have to look it up, but I mean, what about this? There's a story in the news a couple weeks ago where they had problems with this kid, this like 14, 15-year-old boy in the high school that was transgender, was raping the girls in the bathroom.
See,
And they just brushed it under the rug
see,
and wound up moving him to another school.
And right. And how do you know if these people are really self-identifying or they're just undercover perverts? How do you know?
You just can't never know. I mean, really, you just can't. Well, it looks like that's all the time that we have for today.
I'm Tucker O'Reilly.
And I'm Jamal Jackson, and this is the Regular Guys Show.
Please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and give us all your comments. Stay tuned for the next show.
All right.